Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you a long way out from UFC 189, but it seems to be José Aldo versus Conor McGregor is the fight that everyone is talking about. Of course, everybody knows the July 4th, big holiday weekend. Vegas shows is always the big WrestleMania of mixed martial arts. It is the big weekend to go into Vegas. They pack it up with the fan expo, which is a lot like WrestleMania Access and a lot of things like that. You have lots of shows packed through the whole weekend. It is a fighter's dream to head out there. It has been moved to the weekend after 4th of July to July 11th. UFC 189, the show is going to be headlined by Conor McGregor versus José Aldo. They had a big press conference, last week with basically Conor McGregor stealing one of José Aldo's titles. Conor McGregor is one of my favorite fighters. He reminds me a lot of Sheamus. He reminds me a lot of Ric Flair. He's a very outlandish fighter. He just really speaks whatever he wants. There's a lot of people who really are a lot of Conor McGregor doubters out there who don't really believe he's as great a fighter as he says he is. He's a guy that really talks himself into having these big matches. He's a guy that keeps on trying to pick the biggest opponent he can get. UFC, I don't know if it's because of what his ranking was or if they don't really believe in this guy. They really have not given him that real big fight yet. If you can remember back to the Boston show that was the UFC Fight Night, which was headlined versus McGregor versus Seaver. Of course, that was a fight that was won in the second round by Conor McGregor. He did TKO Seaver in the second round. That was a big fight. And of course, there he climbed out of the cage immediately after winning the fight, got right into José Aldo's face, who did not really take this as any kind of a threat at all. He really just laughed it off as what he's going for. But basically, Conor has been running his mouth ever since then, back in January. And he won't really shut up about it. I don't know if this is basically José Aldo, basically getting to the point of where he's going to snap. But José Aldo is definitely Conor McGregor's biggest opponent that he's had so far. This is a guy that has not lost a fight since November of 2005. But basically, Conor has just done just about everything he can do to get underneath José Aldo. This week, we've heard from Conor McGregor's trainer, who's basically said and called the match, basically saying that Conor McGregor is going to stop this fight in the first or second round with a guillotine chokehold, and it's going to be a submission win. That is the big news that is, sort of flowing through UFC right now. Is just basically like, how can this guy really call out that he's going to get a submission? Conor McGregor isn't really even known as a submission fighter. He's only won one fight in his career via submission, which was a rear naked choke back in 2012 on a Dublin, Ireland show. But we're going to have to see where this goes. Basically, this is going to be the headlining fight for the biggest one. There's a lot of people flying into Vegas. Who knows if, people from Ireland are going to be dancing and drinking into the early morning in the streets of Vegas, or will they be basically, crying out their tears that they, fly down to see their hero. I wish this is something that I could really be a part of, seeing this as, Vegas is so close to where I'm at, and Conor is easily one of my favorite fighters since, going in and really becoming a UFC fan and checking out a lot of these shows. But we're gonna have to see. This is definitely gonna be one of the biggest fights. They're really pumping this up because this is the WrestleMania of mixed martial arts. This big 4th of July weekend show, even though it's being held a week later. But we're gonna have to see. It is the big fight everyone is talking about: Conor McGregor versus José Aldo. Let's get it on. Who's your winner?